All right, good evening, everybody. I have a really special story for you tonight, and that's the story of my new embark and the undead horse that completely controls the surface. The footage you'll see here is the first attack in which a human caravan was spotted by the undead horse and completely destroyed. And the second piece of footage that we're going to see is my dwarves executing a heist-like sneak past this horse while it is distracted killing an echidna that is rolled up in a ball and so is resisting being killed. The horse is stomping this thing to death, and because it's distracted, we're able to sneak out to our liaisons from the dwarven mountain home, trade with them, talk to them, and safely part ways. And then actually, so I didn't save this last part, but the final bit of footage we're going to see is what would happen if I tried to just confront this undead horse with my squads as they exist, and you will see that the horse kicks just immediately. They bounce off like ping pong balls, like they run in and are immediately thrown back out as a corpse. So the incredible thing about this horse is that I chose this embark to be an interesting, difficult embark. And I knew that it was going to be haunted. So to catch everyone up, it is adjacent to the ocean. It has a running river, both of which freeze in the winter. The ocean first for some reason, and then the river. And then I've had some fun engineering around that because you can dig into the ice when it's frozen and do things you couldn't when it's liquid. Get floodgates in there and stuff. So I've been working with that. But there's no trees. It's like a desert. Okay, so the interesting thing about this horse, sorry, I'm getting distracted. So it's a haunted embark, which means that it is medium aggression evil. And on about 50% of all biomes, evil means that undead, anything that dies will come back to life. And so I actually played this map for a while, making sure nothing died because I didn't want to deal with it yet. And I was always like, oh, I could test it, but I'm not ready to yet, or I don't want to yet. So I ended up finding out kind of late that this is actually not a reanimating biome, which is lucky because that probably would have been too much for me. But what it does have is a little something called murk, which is a disease that in Dwarf Fortress operates like rabies if it also... Imagine like if you've seen the movie 28 Days Later, it's exactly that, and not really spoiler. 28 Days Later, that virus is based on rabies if the only stage of rabies was the furious attacking part, and if they never got tired or too thirsty and calmed down and died eventually. So that's exactly what we're dealing with. It is pound for pound the 28 Days Later virus, also known as the rabies if you never stopped, basically, just the angry phase. So that's what we're dealing with. And the first time I realized this, I was actually really, really smart and lucky because the first thing I did was I dug in, I built a walled room on the surface with a door that I could lock and unlock. And I was like, I should put a roof on it just in case. And it turns out, yes. So this place is like no trees. It's a desert. It's really a tough embark, but I made it work. I'm actually really proud. I have a sustainable method. So you'll see more videos from this map. But the birds will fly overhead, and often, occasionally, I've seen albatrosses from the ocean, and I've seen crows from, inland from the desert. And they can carry, what's it called? I'm already forgetting. What is this virus called in Dwarf Fortress? It's called Murk. And so what it does is when you get a bite from it, you become a Murk zombie. And all you do is attack living things. Picture any zombie movie. It's basically those rules. So your whole job, you never die of anything, or very hard to kill. You have to be destroyed, dissembled, basically. And your whole thing is just to mess up the lives of living things. So that's why we were able to trade and distract, while this horse was distracted, because I've already experimented with how this horse works, and it turns out that it'll basically target it'll stand perfectly still, actually. It'll space out like a zombie. And then the first thing it sees, it will focus on killing until that thing is dead. As far as I can tell. And so that was really useful because, like I said, it was trying to kill this shelled echidna, this animal with like a, armor. And it was taking so long that we were able to, it can't prioritize. It's just a zombie. So let me tell you the incredible story of this horse. So because I knew it was a haunted, so medium aggression, evil Embark, I was like, I'm probably going to die. I have to do everything I can do not to die. So that's why I immediately built that little house and dug down. A big part of keeping this fortress alive is anytime I see wildlife or something going on the surface, we are locked down. And then we come out specifically to gather plants and wood like once or twice a year when the coast is clear. We'll make that happen. Oh, not to brag on myself, but this is also a pretty frustrating aquifer. And I felt like that tired, exhausted, like, oh, I did it. I got under the aquifer and this is going to be a good fortress. I keep avoiding that point. Oh, so the story of this horse. This is like a comedy bit where I'm avoiding telling you the actual story of this horse because there's so much context. But so I took every advantage to be ready for this possibly reanimating embark. That's not to be an issue. But so I did a custom embark and I said no fish, no meat, because if you're not familiar, reanimating zones, even like a little piece of scalp, like even after an animal is completely butchered apart, hands, I forget what exactly the rules are, but like hands and skulls will never stop coming after you until you destroy them with a blunt weapon, like bash it into dust. And so I embarked with no animals. I told them no animals and only blunt weapons to be prepared. But what I never realized before is that you get 2 free horses with your wagon, of course. Your wagon is there, it's broken down. And I always, did pretty standard embarks usually. So there was always just animals around. I was like, okay, whatever, these are my animals. You get 2 free horses with the wagon, even if you specify that you don't want horses. And look how this has already come back to bite me in the rear because, so what happened was, I was doing a great job. Dwarves are always below ground if there's any birds. Birds are like, the carrier agent that bring this onto my map. You can see the water on the map. It really was actually a really tough aquifer to work past too. This is going to be a cool fortress. I'll definitely have more videos. But so some birds came down, and because they, the symptoms are like I think it says in this game, it describes it as like oppose all living things. So basically, chill out until you see a living thing and then target it. And if I think, certain types of contact, like a bite or something, like bloodborne, you can spread it, but it'll just attack until everything's dead or until it's destroyed. And so my horses both got it, and they both started killing each other. The 2 horses that I knew, again, because I thought they were going to be zombies. So I left them on the surface, and I was like, this is a desert. Good luck. If you can survive, that's great. If you turn into zombies, we'll be downstairs. And I knew it was going to be trouble. So the birds come down, they peck this horse, called Ivy Bolt now, because it's killed so many, it has a name. And it kills the other horse, and that's how I confirmed. That was the first thing to die on my map, so I was like, okay, it's not coming back to life at least. So I got that going for me, which is nice. I really don't think I could do it if this was reanimating too, but... So long story short is that there is just one horse that is unkillable. It heals. I've seen it, and I think it's in this footage. I've seen it have injuries, and I've seen those injuries turn into scars. It is undead. It wants only to kill. Nothing can take it down. Everything is immediately obliterated. I imagine it just rears up on its back legs and just kicks anything to death that gets close to it. That being said, something really interesting, and I took a lot of footage. Hopefully it's in here somewhere. I can confirm. But when you look, the only injury that this horse had before it died, or before it was infected and became like this immortal thing, was the other horse must have kicked its teeth out. It has no teeth, and that means that this fortress is still sustainable. I can even live in harmony with this undead horse because it can't spread the disease. So it's going all around the surface, and it's kicking everything it finds, it's kicking to death. But it is not biting and transmitting this disease. So it's almost like a guardian. I mean, even if there's a goblin invasion or any kind of siege, this horse is going to run over and kick them all to death. As long as we stay under the surface and sneak up when it's distracted with something, this can work. This can be like a weird undead guardian toothless horse that doesn't spread this disease but kicks anything on the surface that doesn't know the rules to death. So that's my situation with this embark. Last winter I did manage, now you've heard the whole story, but there's still some footage. Oh, I think I even talked through just explaining this, but if you've been watching, you saw this human caravan showed up from the north while the horse was standing there and just got obliterated. I mean, they came with guards, caravans have guards that are trained. The idea being that, like, if you want to be pirates and steal from these traders, you better be ready. You better be combat ready because this is going to be a big fight. Sorry, the footage now is us successfully sneaking in and trading with the Dwarven liaison. And so, yeah, the humans all got kicked to death. I don't know. I assume that's going to affect how often they visit us, How much the traders like you and whether or not you offer gifts and stuff all seem to affect how often they come. So I imagine the whole humans being decimated, not by us. We didn't do anything, but this undead horse that we had nothing to do with, completely decimated. Oh, that's the other thing is that this horse is robbing caravans for us. If we can't sneak in and talk to this caravan, all of their stuff is now abandoned on our property, and so the next time the horse is distracted with something, we can have everything. We don't even have to trade. I just realized this horse is only a blessing. As long as we respect it and stay away from it, it'll kill all the traders. It'll kill all the invaders, all the traders, and we will inherit all of their stuff. So that's interesting. Let me know in the comments if that's going to come back to bite me in some way, because I think it might. Let's see. Okay, so this we do sneak in, and every time we check on the horse, so we're working up to the finale here, but every time we check on the horse, Echidna is buying us crucial time, is what I just named that save. Echidna is buying us crucial time. The horse is in the corner of the map, laboriously stomping an Echidna to death, and the Echidna is taking damage, but if you're not familiar, an Echidna, everybody knows Sonic the Hedgehog. His best friend Knuckles from the memes is an Echidna. And so they can roll up and they can defend themselves, and that's what's happening. And the rules of this disease seem to be zombie doesn't stop until destroyed or until current target is dead. So we do... Oh, that's it. So the humans came from the north while the horse was there. The horse is now in the west side of the map. And the traders came in from the east, and we just met them from our little bunker, our little zombie bunker, which is going well. You know what? I'm going to take a minute to just give myself kudos. A lot of people said my last video was too simple. It was the how to get food thing. I'm trying to dial it in, you guys. It's a very deep game, and my knowledge is kind of, deep in some places, not deep in other places. I'm trying to make it something enjoyable for everybody. But anyway, so this horse's name is Ivy Bolt, and yeah, I don't think we can kill it. I don't think we should kill it. I think it's our guardian zombie now, and we just have to respect it and not be the first thing in its queue of things to kill. So that's really interesting. And so, yeah, this fortress is sustainable. We got the aquifer under control. It was a huge hassle. If I go underground in this video, you'll see that it involves, like, draining it off 6 levels of the map because there's, like, this thick... It's ocean and river and desert, so there's just a huge water table. But I got through it, and we come up every once in a while when there's no birds, no infected birds, and when the horse is distracted... And we get as many plants as we need. There's no more trees. We've already decimated the tree population, but I think we already have smelted some metal, so I think we'll be okay. And we have rock now. There was a minute there where, there were zombies on the surface, and I couldn't really smelt metal, and I didn't even have access to hard rock, where I was like, this is going to be another fail. But guys, I think this is going to be a cool fortress. So again, just to reiterate, at the end of this video, all of my dwarfs are going to bounce off of this horse and die, but I just did that to show you guys how strong this thing is. Again, no teeth. You'll see it heals from everything, but I guess before it died, it got its teeth knocked out. Or teeth don't regenerate. You'd have to ask the developers, but yeah, we trade for what we need, or we raid the caravans after the horse is done killing them. Thanks for listening to this story. This is what I talk about when I say that Dwarf Fortress has this incredible procedural narrative quality where I can just create an amazing story from randomness and from good programming. All right, everybody, please like and subscribe. And thank you for your support. I'm a new creator, so I appreciate everybody being gentle with me. And thanks as always for your time. All right, and if you stuck with me till this part in the video, this is the part where I make a save split that I think is titled, "Can we kill it while it's distracted?" And I honestly that was my question. I mean, like, can we end this thing? It's stressful, I'll admit. Having a toothless horse roaming the desert of the surface when you're trying to gather plants is stressful. So yeah, this is me just for fun, just to see what happens. Seeing if I can kill this thing. Oh, this also has really good footage of the situation. As you can see right there, her teeth is gone, which is a grammatical error, but you get the idea. It's because this is pulling from a file that keeps track of every individual body part, so it's singular for the entity. So yep, right here I save. Can we kill it while it's distracted? But otherwise, you'll notice that. So next time I pull it up, covered in scars on its body from big injuries that it healed from, because it heals as a zombie. I don't know, it's undead or something. It's no good. So I only have 13. For some reason, no migrants when I come to this this hellhole of an embark that's guarded by that horse monster. But so I only have 13. So I send 7. I send my squad of 7, the initial 7. And you watch right coming up. And if this is slightly out of sync, I apologize, but it's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boop. That was the first one. Immediately dead, bounces off the horse, bounces off the undead horse as soon as he engages. And I'm checking the Ivy Bolt, the Ardent Glories of Merc. And yeah, no injuries. He died for nothing. He bounced. Yep, second one, bounced right off the horse. So doing no damage. I think by the end of this, we do as much damage as the human caravan, which you'll recall gets completely wiped out, and the horse completely heals from it. So all hail our new undead horse overlord. And thanks as always for watching. Good night, y'all.